Welcome to the Flexible Curricula channel, your one-stop for anything education with your host, Nate Berman. Though we normally consult for schools and districts, we also strive to help parents who really want to be in the know for their kids' education. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up, share, and leave a comment. If you want to know more of our videos, hit that subscribe button. Now, today's video is where would teachers have a good idea to pull words from vocabulary or spelling tests. Now, all of you remember the spelling test where some words came from out of the blue, it made no sense, the patterns, where they would come up with the combination for words for a list, it seemed a little crazy. Oh, well, this came from this came from this, and it can be downright confusing, and in some ways, it can actually hurt students' chances of actually mastering vocabulary or spelling. So we're going to take a look today and see some ways that can help things so students can be successful with building these skills. The first, let's look at vocabulary. Now, vocabulary, in my opinion, as well as from many studies, say that it really should come from class readings, stories, short narratives, or even in a social studies or science textbook, let's say, where you would pull vocabulary. Now, the benefit of this is that students can actually work on a very needed skill of deciphering new words in context. So they see the word in the sentence, in the paragraph, and they should be able to help figure out and work with students to coming up with the idea of what the definition really is. And as students get more and more experience with this activity, they will actually be able to really be good at decoding words that they really don't know the definition to ahead of time. Now, beyond this is also an opportunity to first solicit what the definition is before you actually tell the students the definition. And one caveat with these vocab tests, don't make the mistake of demanding students know how to spell these words. You're looking for the concept of vocabulary. It's great if they can spell them, but spelling has a different issue, and I'm going to get into spelling and spelling tests in just a moment, but just to quickly recap, vocabulary should come from classroom readings, have the students work on the skill of decoding to come up with a definition first, and then provide them with the definition and use those words as the lists to make a vocab test. Now for spelling. Now, English is a crazy language. There's so many different languages that we have for word origins. Greek, Latin, French, German, and many others. So the question is, how do we know how to spell a word when it doesn't make sense? We've got so many different word languages that our language comes from. So there are more exceptions a lot of times than what follow the rules. So how do we know? Well, really, there should be two themes to figure out how to develop a spelling test and the words for a spelling test. And unfortunately, a lot of textbooks ruin this because they just go with a bunch of common words instead of actually helping to build these skills. And students have a difficult time, and they fail students in more ways than one. So the first aspect for younger students in younger early elementary is to work with phonics-based spelling. That means that you work on a single letter, a pair of letters, whether vowel consonant or vowel consonant combination, in order to actually help students learn how to pronounce certain letters. And through pronouncing it, you also learn how to spell these words based on these pronunciations. Now, this will feed into the later method and theme that you should use for spelling tests, but that will be based on roots, whether a word is from Greek origin or Latin origin, and focus on a root and derivatives of that root for each given spelling test. So you're really teaching students roots which have phonics to their own, and some of them are complicated and some of them are not. But once you know the word origin and the roots, then students are much more successful both in spelling and in vocabulary, which will make them much more successful readers in the future. So quick recap, vocabulary should be from class readings. Get the students to come up with the definition first. Spelling, come up with starting for younger kids with phonics based, and then later on root based as far as for word origin of which language word origin to come up with that. And you will find huge levels of increased success by doing it with these methods. Thank you for watching the Flexible Curricula channel. Once again, if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up, share. I'd love to hear from you about your thoughts on spelling or vocab tests, good or bad, whether you actually were giving them or when you took them as a student. If you want to see more of these videos, hit that subscribe button. Also, please feel free to contact me at nateb@flexiblecurricula.com if your school or district would like some guidance in growing your students toward academic excellence. Thank you.